Danny Sheehan talks about live aliens at Area 51 and a whole lot more. It's time for another UFO News Roundup, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, here goes.
To do an inspection there.
Yeah, there's a guy from Project Blue Book who was ushered in to Area 51.
And he asked Albert to come with him. As in the kind of administrative aid. And so he went with him. They went to Area 51. Then they went to S4. And they went to S4, and he said that he actually went down in below ground to the facility at S4, and he actually saw a UFO vehicle there, hovering, just being held at in this facility.
How did he describe the craft? Sorry.
He didn't. I didn't press him on it. He just said it was clearly UFO, and it was just hovering, just in this some kind of a warehouse space kind of area. And he said that then they went, and his commander was actually going to be meeting face to face with a live ET person, extraterrestrial biological entity. An EB, they called him.
Okay, so he goes on. I'll let you watch the rest of the interview at your leisure, but basically they talk to this being, and this being says he's part of this, multiracial alien initiative, and they're going around checking on intelligent life in the universe, and they seem to be goodly and benign, and that they work for God, even though God isn't what we would understand as God. Very interesting. Is the truth? Is it not? Hard to say. The beings don't always tell the truth. Unfortunately, it'd be so much easier if the beings were always truthful. But this being seems to have been possibly a captive, possibly taken from a UFO crash, maybe even a shoot down. We don't know. But we do know that occurs, and that there are survivors of those shoot downs that probably get interrogated much like this. The being itself is described as a tall being, human-sized height, with a big head and big black eyes. That reminds me a lot of this being from the famous alien interview made famous by Jon Stewart, who was able to corroborate a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff involving this particular incident. And Nico, friend of the channel Nico, was able to corroborate some of this himself, because in his own investigations, he had also been shown an alien interview of a very similar being, maybe the same being, but from a different angle and a much longer video. So yeah, but this was supposed to be at S2, I believe, if I'm remembering that correctly, not S4. So I'm not sure if Danny's conflating some events there, or the person that told him that story is conflating events, or if indeed they do have live beings at S4 as well, because that is actually something that Bob Lazar has alluded to as well. It seems like he probably encountered some beings, and he's got some missing time. He was made to drink this weird pine-scented drink that may have enabled hypnosis or hypnotic suggestion or mind alteration of some sort. Anyway, it's an interesting aspect of the Bob Lazar story. But yeah, the Danny Sheehan information definitely seems to corroborate a lot of Bob Lazar's information, as well as this fantastic alien interview. In other news, in a recent article from the Daily Mail, veteran paratrooper reveals British forces recovered a downed non-human craft in northern England in the late 1980s, supporting recent U.S. whistleblowers' claims of a secret UFO crash retrieval program. British forces recovered a downed non-human craft in northern England in the late 1980s. Frank Milburn, a veteran of the British Army's Elite Parachute Regiment, tells Daily Mail he had spoken with a member of the MI6 run unit that conducted the alleged operation. Milburn said he also spoke to the UK Royal Air Force crew who chased and fired on a pair of disc-shaped UFOs that traveled at hypersonic speeds, outstripping their fighter jets. Milburn refused to reveal the identity of his former elite comrade, citing security and his desire to remain anonymous. DailyMail.com will refer to him using the alias John. Milburn divulged eye-popping details of the story told to him by his ex-Special Forces friend after both had left the Army, saying that he wanted to support recent U.S. whistleblowers' claims of a secret UFO crash retrieval program. So there you go. There was a crash retrieval in England in the 1980s. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of many. The UK is very silent on the whole UFO issue. But just like everybody else, they're lying their butts off. They're secretly conducting UFO crash retrievals, almost certainly UFO reverse engineering. Do they have their own alien retention program? How deep does the rabbit hole run over there in the UK? I don't know, but I would love to know. In other news from AP News, a new study finds no brain injuries among Havana Syndrome patients. An array of advanced tests found no brain injuries or degeneration among U.S. diplomats and other government employees who suffer mysterious health problems, once dubbed Havana Syndrome. The National Institutes of Health's nearly 5-year study offers no explanation for the symptoms, including headaches, balance problems, and difficulties with thinking and sleep that were first reported in Cuba in 2016 and later by hundreds of American personnel in multiple countries. But it did contradict some earlier findings that raised the specter of brain injuries in people experiencing what the State Department now calls anomalous health incidents. Yeah, we still don't know what the hell is causing these things. Is it a directed energy attack? Is it something that the beings are doing? We just don't know at this point. It's very alarming. This new study at least is saying there's no brain injuries. So if this is to be relied upon, and who knows if they're telling us the truth or not, that's certainly encouraging news, but it remains a very mysterious and troubling phenomenon. Speaking of weird, the James Webb Telescope confirms there is something seriously wrong with our understanding of the universe. Depending on where we look, the universe is expanding at different rates. Now scientists use the James Webb Hubble space telescopes have confirmed that the observation is not down to a measurement error. So there you go. I'll let you read the full article at your leisure. But yeah, they are finding that the universe is expanding at different rates. That is so weird. And I just shared with you research from the other day that may indicate the universe is much older than previously understood, like 26 billion years old. So this, is interesting. Do the two things dovetail? I have no idea. Tim Clark gave me his theory about why the universe might be expanding at different rates, and that might have to do with the supermassive black holes and white holes. In warping space. So I thought that was a great theory. So let me know what you think about Tim's theory in the comments below. In this idea that we really don't understand the universe at all. In other news, remember Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp saying they had gotten Arrow witnesses on video recounting their testimony, outside of Arrow, but after they had testified, just in case Arrow didn't do anything with it, which of course they're not going to do. Well, James Fox has also said, this is not a new clip, but this is relevant in light of Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp's information, that James Fox has done the same thing, getting Arrow witnesses, people that have gone to Arrow with their fantastic testimony, also on camera.
However, what I'm doing and what many others are doing, we're meeting with the intel folks on the inside that have already gone to testify to Arrow, which is run by Sean Kirkpatrick. That's the new U.A.P. task force. And they're going on camera with people like myself. And I've gotten a number of them on camera already. And they're disclosing not the classified parts, but what they've disclosed basically behind closed doors. In other words, I'm providing the names of the programs. I'm providing the names of the individuals involved with the programs, the locations of these programs. And in fact, if you get me the classifications, I can walk you in the door. So
that's amazing. Yeah, he said that before. I want to be walked through the door, James. Well, I want a two-way ticket. But yeah, I would love to know what those guys have. What all is involved in the control group, man. How deep does that rabbit hole go? But there you go, James Fox also getting evidence from these witnesses and participants in these UFO crash retrieval and reverse engineering programs. Is this something that he is going to release as part of his new movie, The Program? Because that would make perfect sense, right? Man, I hope he does. I can't wait to see it. Meanwhile, John Bell has put together a 10-minute plus compilation of some of his UFO videos. You know, he's one of these amazing experiencers where the phenomenon wants him to get it on camera. And he does. And he has so many sightings of different sorts of crafts, lots of orbs, but also more metallic, probably, craft that make noises. It's just so great, the wealth of videos that he's able to get. And then check it out. They'll make little power-ups. Look at that. Look at that beautiful power-up. That's what they call them at ECETI Ranch, if you're familiar with ECETI Ranch. Someplace I really, really have to go. But yeah, when they come over the group and they're trying to show themselves to the group in a big display, they'll do these power-ups. And John is getting these too. And I just love it. I just love it. And yeah, he's got so many of these of different kinds. Here, I'll show you a couple more, and I'll let you watch this full video at your leisure. Like I say, it's almost 11 minutes long, and it's just he's got some brilliant stuff. Okay, we'll watch one more from this compilation, and then we'll switch to another one of his videos. But there you go. Look at that amazing power up. I would love to know who he's interacting with. You know, who is it that he's working with? I'd love to know. Here's another one. He's actually following that one, but as he's filming that one, he gets another one right there. Did you see it? He's blown this up for us so that we can see it. That's what it looks like. He believes this is a saucer. Here's another one. He's got so many orbs and so much activity here. Are some of those bugs? Maybe, but not all of them, guys. Not all of them. Look at that. You can see the texture on it. You can see the details of the orb. That's just amazing. Just great captures. Yeah, so everybody go check out his channel, Florida Real UFO, and I'll link to it below. But look at this. Look at that. It changes direction. That's not a shooting star, guys. That's not a shooting star. Nor is it a bug. So just a great capture of this craft, I guess, is what we're looking at. There's all these reports about plasma and plasma beings these days. It seems to be like a big thing. And some of them might be. Who knows? So, are we looking at plasma beings or other dimensional beings, or is this a physical, nuts and bolts craft of some sort? Again, I wish I knew. But look at that. Look at that changing direction. Just great stuff. Great stuff. Thank you, John. Meanwhile, Nazca Mummy news. In one of the new mummies revealed, there was this crazy implant. Well, now we are learning that this implant coincides with a deep injury in a cervical vertebra. So Nazca Mummy says, I think such application could have some therapeutic purpose, as in other tridactyl bodies. That's right. In one of the classic Nazca Mummies, as I call them, the little guys that we're familiar with, there was a collarbone implant, and there was a deep wound in the collarbone that seems to have been made by some large cat. I don't know what, cougars or panthers or mountain lions are indigenous to that area. But it was injured by a large cat, and that implant seems to have helped with that. Is that the only purpose of these implants, is to help with injuries? And why do they keep on putting implants to help with injuries? How advanced are these? I mean, they don't seem to have spaceships or laser beams if they're, being preyed upon or being attacked by large cats. They don't seem to have access to the high technology of the beings that may have created them. If that's the case, obviously, we're kind of flying blind here. We need some, some more solid information on who they were, what they were about, what technologies they had access to. but they definitely had access to some technologies. They had implants, they had medical procedures, they were using osmium. Definitely more of a sophisticated culture than the humans of the time. But yet they were, subject to elements and wild animals. So, but really, really interesting that they may have been using these implants for, at least in part, for medical reasons. Speaking of weirdness, this is from Stargate Voyager 1910 report. A 9-foot petrified skeleton unearthed in Wyoming. This is an article from January. I found the following 1897 article from searching through the digital archives of Library of Congress. Link below is the original published article and screenshots of the newspaper. So I'm a little confused there. It says I thought the 1817 or 1897, and then it says 1910. So whatever. Let's skeleton of 9-foot man. Encampment in Wyoming, April 22nd. That Carbon County, Wyoming was inhabited by a race of men, or at least one man in the prehistoric age, has been proved by the discovery here of the bones of a giant skeleton, which indicate that the man in life was 9 feet 3 inches in height. The bones were disclosed by the bursting of a large water pipe on the Tennant Ranch, the escaping water washing out a great hole in the hillside. The bones were in good state of preservation, being in a fossiliferous condition. Fossiliferous. Okay, I think I got that right. But yeah, there you go. I love the giants. The giants are crazy. There's at least 2 or 3 articles in the New York Times itself back in the day talking about giants. I mean, this was a legit phenomenon that people were finding these giant bones in the Americas and presumably elsewhere. Who are they? Where did they come from? Where did they go? Why is the Smithsonian hiding them and destroying them? What's going on with the giants? It's just such a weird thing. Does it have an alien connection? A non-human connection? Are we looking at hybrids just as we seem to be with the Nazca Mummies? And possibly the elongated skull people? Who knows, guys? Who knows? If you have any answers, let me know in the comments below. Meanwhile, what is this thing? What the hell? It's like a living gummy bear. What in the world is that crazy critter? That is wild, guys. That is wild. Obviously some sort of caterpillar or something, but that is pretty neat. Love it. Love it. All right. Last but not least, check this out. Citizens for Disclosure now to rally at Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's office for UFO U.A.P. disclosure. What? Citizens for Disclosure now issued the following statement. To show appreciation for Senator Schumer's leadership on UAP transparency and to demand more congressional hearings with whistleblowers, Citizens for Disclosure now hold a rally in front of Schumer's office in New York City on March 21st. Please join us as we thank Schumer for his work and request his continued support for our right to know the truth. That is so cool. They are doing it. They are doing it, guys. They are having a rally at Chuck Schumer's place. So, yeah, if you are in the area on that date, you might want to consider going and showing your support. So, yeah, very cool news, very cool stuff. I love it. Let me know what you think about that and everything else covered today in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook, Twitter, Discord links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in an even bigger way, please consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below. Or if you're a science fiction or fantasy fan, grabbing one of my novels. I am a novelist. You can find links to that below as well. Or, of course, you can become a channel member. I can say the words. Guys. Become a channel member to support Cosmic Road because channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Also, channel members frequently get to see videos hours ahead of everybody else. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.